Hello GameMakers, this is GameMaker Rob, and in this episode we'll just be continuing our battle system. All we're adding today is mainly some visual eye candy, just improving the UI for the player really. So let's get started. Alright guys, so the first thing I want to do is some kind of damage indicator. Whenever someone gets hit, whether it's a hero or a monster, we're going to have some numbers float up. And we're going to do this inside our script SCR damage. At the very bottom, we already know who our target is, so we're going to be using that. We're going to say damage equals instance create depth, sorry, not layer, depth. We want target.x plus sprite get width, target.sprite index divided by 2. Just put this in parentheses. And then we want target.y depth of -200 and obj damage indicator. There we go, awesome. Just check this. Okay, and we're going to say damage.text equals total damage. We could also just type argument 0, but considering we've already assigned argument 0 to total damage and it's a lot easier to read, we may as well just use that. So let's make an object. We're going to call it obj damage indicator. I should have picked something easier to spell, shouldn't I? There we go. And in the draw event, we want to say draw set h-align fa center, because you want the text centered over the object, sprite, whatever. Draw set v-align fa bottom, so that it's not drawn over any part of the sprite. Draw set font. We're going to make a new one called FNT damage, and we don't need to set the color because we're going to draw the color as part of the function. We're going to say XY text. C1 is top left, we're going to have C red. C2 is top right, C red again. Bottom left, C white. Bottom right, C white. And alpha, we're going to say alpha. We're going to make it fade, and when the alpha gets to 0, we're then going to destroy the object. So first thing first, let's create the font. FNT menu is at 16, so we're going to make this one slightly larger. FNT damage, set it to 18. And I want mana space for my font again. There we go. Damaging indicator, make sure that turns red. And now we want to go to the create event. We're going to say timer equals 0, time till ascend equals 5. This is how long it's how many steps it's going to take before our damage object decreases its y by 1 to make it go upwards. I tried this with 10 and it's a bit slow, so I'm going to try it with 5 this time. And alpha, we're going to start at 2. Normally you'd set it to 1, but I find that when you're decreasing alpha, it decreases quite quickly. So if you start at 2, then it's going to stay fully opaque for a lot longer, like twice as long, then it's going to start to fade, and that's how I prefer it. So step event, this is what's going to make it move upwards and fade. Timer plus plus, if timer is greater than or equal to time till ascend, we want the y to go up by 1, and we want alpha to decrease by 0.01, and timer resets back to 0. This is basically the same as using an alarm, but for me, I feel like it's easier to see and I've got more control. And then we want to say if alpha is less than or equal to 0, instance destroy. Let's run the game. Let's attack the wizard. Okay, so the alpha isn't really changing. Let's try 0.05. Again, it's a bit too slow. Two ways to change it. Let's just change this to 3. Change that to 0.075. Really, I only want it to last for maybe a few seconds. As long as this is half decent, I'm not gonna make any more changes because I could spend ages tinkering with this stuff, honestly. That's better. Alright. And now also you can see that the numbers that are declaring how many monsters of each type there are getting in the way, so I'm going to move them now. Okay, so for our next trick, if we go into the battle spawner, is that where we're displaying it? No. Go into OBJ monster group, and where it says draw text x plus sprite width divided by 2 string number, I'm going to put this into comments for now. I'm going to say let's draw it to the left, so draw, or we'll say number x equals x minus sprite width divided by 2, and draw text, actually draw set h align fa left, draw text, number x, y plus sprite height divided by 2, because they're drawn from the top left, if you recall, and I want these numbers in the center now. And then for the string, we want x and then plus string number, and hopefully that should be it. Let's run the game, see how it looks. Oh, it's going to look weird, isn't it? Probably want to draw it to the right hand side of them, or we just actually, if we change it to number and then plus space x, and then yeah, let's try that. That's alright, I'm okay with that. Okay, so now we've done that, if we go into OBJ Battle Spawner and the draw event, we're going to draw the names and the hit points and the mana. So at the very bottom of the draw event, we don't really need to set any of these functions because we're going to be using the same ones. We're going to say UIX equals buffer, UIY equals room height minus 4 times, and we want font size plus buffer. Then we want to do a for loop for var I equals 0, I is less than let's do array height 2D GA heroes. Probably should do that for this as well. Let's change that. I++. Let's do one more thing to make it a bit clearer. Number of heroes equals this. And then we want to put this in parentheses as well, just to make sure it runs correctly. And we want to say draw text UIX UIY plus I times font size plus buffer, and the string is going to be GA heroes I0 because that's going to be the name. Let's run the game to make sure that pops up. This is going to clash with our other menu, but that's okay because we're going to move that in a minute anyway. Just want to make sure this is drawing correctly first. Okay, cool. So now we want to move our other menu. So menu X is what's dictating where we're drawing our menu on the horizontal axis at the moment, and we're going to have it. Let's just use a magic number for now. Plus, let's say 120. Hopefully that's enough. If not, we'll change it. And we have to move the arrow X as well. So instead of being 0, it's going to be menu X minus sprite get width SBR arrow. So if we run the game again, it should look a bit better this time. Probably not far enough. Let's move the main menu over to the middle of the screen. Let's do menu X equals say room width divided by 2 plus that. Alright, so now we're drawing the names. We want to draw the hit points as well, so draw text UIX UIY. Copy this. GA heroes So max is 1, current is 2. So we want current first. I2, make it a string, plus string GA heroes I1. Just make sure we've got all the parentheses we need. Okay, we need to change the UIX as well. What we can do is plus string width and we want GA heroes. We'll use the first name. Oops. 00. Actually, let's just do this. Hero. That'll be fine. Let's run the game. It's looking okay. We're going to add in the mana next. Magic points. We can pretty much copy paste this. Add it on. Instead of string width hero, it's going to be hero. And then we'll do 999, 999. This is assuming the maximum hit points you're going to want is 999. Because this is the widest it's ever going to be. So we need to account for that. Alright, and then I just need to check. Max MP is 3, current is 4. So max MP, current is 4. We want that first. Max is 3. And I guess what we could do, no. I was going to suggest maybe changing the colour for the hit points and for the mana. Yeah, we could do it actually. Let's make sure it's in the right place for now. Okay. So let's do draw, set color, C white, draw set color, C red, draw set color, C blue. So now everything should be color coded, and we'll also draw HP and MP above all the numbers, just so it's very clear what's what. I'm not sure I like it actually. I think I'd prefer it just to be purely white. And I'd like there to be more space between the names and the hit points as well. So let's get rid of this. We can leave this one in. One more time. Then we're going to add HPMP. And I think one more thing to do for the UI, and I'll be happy for now. Okay. So for the hit points, we're going to copy this line. And from here, so we want this width. And for the height, we want it to be UIY minus font size plus buffer. delete all this and just type HP. And if we copy this, paste it, copy this, put it in here, and then put MP. That should work. Let's just make some comments. Draw HP MP name HP MP. There we go. I think we could do with moving our actors a bit higher, but apart from that I'm fairly happy with this for now. Alright, so if we now go into the battle spawner, we're going to move all of our heroes and monsters up a bit. We want to change hero Y. I'm just going to comment this out for now. Change it to 2.5 times sprite get height. And then in battle spawner create event, this one here, we're going to change it to from divided by 2 just to normal. So room height divided by 2 minus the sprite height of SBR monsters. Let's run the game, see if that gives us a bit more space and to make sure they're still kind of centered with each other. Looking good. Okay, cool. Okay, so the final thing for today is we're going to have an arrow pointing to whichever hero we're controlling. If I'd have done this at the start of the tutorial, we would have just done it where we are getting the ID of the object from our hero list. But because I'm dumb and I didn't think of it, rather than change all of our code now, we're just going to do a little bit of a band-aid. It's going to work perfectly. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not the most efficient code we could have done. So we're going to have a new variable. This is in the object battle spawner inside our initialization code, where we're setting all of our variables. We're going to say hero to control, or yeah, we'll do that, equals 0. Is that too similar to what we've already got? Hero to command, hero to control. Let's change that. We'll say player indicator equals 0. That's better. Which hero are we controlling for UI purposes only? So what we're going to do is, if action state is in it, so if we're initializing the action state, we're going to set the player indicator to 0, and then every time we update hero to command, we're going to say player indicator ++, and that's going to tell us, all we're going to do is we're going to use player indicator to tell us to check which hero to play, and it's going to be based on the image index of the hero. So in obj hero, in the draw event, we're going to say if obj battle spawner dot player turn, so if it's the player turn, and obj battle spawner dot player indicator is equal to this particular hero's image index, then draw sprite SPR arrow, sorry, let's make this bigger, subimage 0. The X will do X minus brackets sprite get width SPR arrow. Y plus sprite height divided by 2. And if we run the game, so we've got the arrow pointing at our first character, going to attack, then it changes to the second one, and we get to use all 4 characters. Let's attack our friend. Awesome. Okay, so just a few visual updates for this episode. Next time we're going to continue with the main code. As always, if you've got any questions or comments, please leave it in the comment section below, obviously. Apart from that, I will see you next time. Bye for now.